It is the 26th of December, 2015, and this is a story about the little bear and his daddy. And it says, "I love you, Daddy." Little bear loves his daddy. And here's how the story goes. "You're getting taller, little bear," said Daddy Bear. "You're big enough to climb trees with me." Little bear's eyes opened wide in surprise. "Do you really mean that?" Daddy Bear nodded. And he led little bear to a giant tree, really big tree. Little bear tried to scramble up onto the lowest branch, but he tumbled down. He couldn't quite reach it. And Daddy Bear nudged little bear and pushed him a little bit. And Daddy Bear tugged that little bear. And he said, "You can do it. You can do it," he whispered to him. And suddenly, little bear found that he could. "I love Daddy," thought little bear. "You're getting brave, little bear," said Daddy Bear. "Daring enough to gather honey with me even." Little bear gasped. "Could I really?" Daddy Bear winked. And he led little bear to another tree and pointed to a hole in the trunk. And there were bees coming in and out. And little bear reached out his paw, and a sudden furious buzzing filled his ears. Bzzz! Little bear pulled back his paw. Bzzz! "Just be quick," Daddy Bear said. "You have thick fur. The bees can't hurt you. You can do it," he smiled. And suddenly little bear found that he could reach the honey. "Oh, I love Daddy," thought little bear. "You're getting smart, little bear. Smart enough to find a good winter den." Little bear grinned. "Do you really think so, Daddy?" "Oh, I know so," said Daddy Bear. And so little bear set off. "Not too far from food," said Daddy Bear. "Ready for when spring comes." Little bear sniffed the wind. "Look for high ground," said Daddy Bear, "so you can keep us dry." So little bear paddled up over the rocks. "Somewhere safe and warm," said Daddy Bear, "far away from danger." "Here," called little bear as he disappeared into a deep cave. Daddy Bear followed him in and looked all around. "Perfect," he said. "Oh, I love my daddy," thought little bear. "Did I climb well?" little bear asked on the way home. "Oh, you did, replied Daddy Bear. "Was I brave, Daddy?" asked little bear. You were," answered Daddy Bear. "Did I find us a good den?" asked little bear. "Oh, the very best," smiled Daddy Bear. "I'm so proud of you, little bear." Soon little bear and Daddy Bear reached home, and suddenly little bear felt very tired. But there was something he wanted to say. "I love you, began little bear, but he couldn't finish. He just fell fast asleep. And Daddy Bear stroked little bear's head and said, "I love you too, little bear." And little bear fell fast asleep.